What is the Kremlin's current position on Russia's war on Ukraine? Today's edition of Moskovsky Komsomolets sets that out very clearly. The Kremlin believes that Russia is slowly but surely achieving its goals in Ukraine. Therefore, Moscow does not intend to stop where it is and does not feel the slightest desire for half-hearted solutions and half-baked compromises. The suggestion that Donald Trump may be ready to impose additional sanctions on Russia hasn't gone down well here. I suspect President Trump won't like any of this. The US president is not the most consistent of politicians. One moment he's posting a romantic photo with Putin, the next he's threatening terrible sanctions, time and time again. Frankly, the Ukraine conflict is a nuisance for Trump. He wants to end it to save political face. But the US president shows himself to be a politician who, despite all his loud rhetoric, does not know how to consistently insist on what he wants and push through the solution he has chosen. Trump wants to find a simple solution to a very difficult problem. And when such a simple solution is still not found, he begins to fuss, get angry, dodge, threaten everyone. And then it's Groundhog Day again. But for now, Moscow blames Brussels more than Washington, accusing Europe of trying to push the US to exert more pressure on Russia. Izvestia reports the EU wants to tighten sanctions against Russia via the US. The EU is trying to draw the US into new sanctions against Russia. Director of the Department of European Problems at the Russian Foreign Ministry, Vladislav Maslenikov, told Izvestia. Brussels' aim is to obstruct the Ukraine peace process. Meanwhile, Komsomolskaya Pravda admits that restrictions to mobile internet services are no longer a rare occurrence in many regions of Russia, which I suppose is another way of saying restrictions to mobile internet services are now happening a lot in Russia. The authorities explain this as security measures. But in the digital age, we are often critically dependent on internet access. So, Russia's Ministry of Digital Development has come up with a compromise. There will be internet shutdowns, but not everything will be shut down. And here is a list of internet resources which Russians will still be able to access even when mobile internet is down. They include social networks, Russian ones, like VKontakte, Odnoklassniki, and the national messenger Max, RuTube, not YouTube, online retailers Ozon and Wildberries, sites of the government and the presidential administration. Oh, and you'll still be able to vote remotely in elections. On the subject of the Max Messenger, which will come pre-installed now on all gadgets sold in Russia, clearly Russians are nervous about this app, about how secure it is and whether this will allow the state to keep an eye on them. Otherwise, Komsomolskaya Pravda wouldn't publish an article like this one today. 9 myths about Max Messenger. We dispel rumours and conjecture about the Russian app. It denies, for example, that Max is a spy program that secures full access to your smartphone's data without the user knowing, and that Max will denounce you to the authorities for using a VPN or for reading banned sites. Anyway, the president is quite happy to get on board with Max. On the 7th of September, the Russian President Vladimir Putin's official channel appeared on the national messenger. And on the 8th of September, visitors to the channel were greeted by this announcement from the president's press service. We hope you will find the information about the daily activities of the head of state interesting.